Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode on Robbie Rizka channel. Today we have a great friend, somebody that I really respect in the industry. He does build beautiful stuff, and I'm pretty sure you guys know about it. Legiit.com, his partner owner in it, Jim Sabellico. How are you, Jim, today?
Doing well. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So today, Jim is going to show us something so cool. I was browsing on his page the other day, and he was live, and he was sharing a new tool that really caught my attention. And what really caught my attention is the free part of what he's actually offering. It's something that I need for all my clients. Let's hear it from Jim right now.
Sure.
Jim, in one sentence, how can you explain your tool and what's the name of it?
So it's called Brand Kit AI. And what it is the easiest way to organize and grow a brand. Simplest way to define it.
Nice. And what special problem you're trying to solve?
So the problem is, let me define it with a quote. If you don't define your brand, your customers will. So that's the problem that we're solving. And just to go a little bit deeper on that, a lot of businesses don't do a very good job of actually defining what their brand looks, feels, and sounds like. They
Hmm.
think that they do, but they don't actually have a cohesive version of it that everybody understands. And they just kind of put the thing out there into the market. And then what happens is customers develop their own version of what the brand actually is, what it sounds like, what it offers, what the core values are, the actual value it provides. The problem that we are solving is helping business owners to really clearly define what their brand is, what it looks, feels, and sounds like. And then that translates into more sales because when people understand what it is that you do, they're much more likely to buy.
True. I understand. That's very interesting. And what was the moment you decided actually to do this?
A few months ago, really, this has been a thing for me for a long time, just trying to help people understand exactly what that identity layer looks like. And I work primarily with, at this point in my life, doing coaching for people to help them understand their own identity. But then I looked, basically zoomed out a little bit, and I looked at, hey, we also have the same problem in businesses. So I
True.
took what I've learned from the past 25 years of doing this and applied it into this framework, which we're going to kind of go through. It's a lot of fun.
All right, let's see it. Let's see it.
All right.
We'll do an example today, or
Yeah,
can
we can
we?
certainly do a live walkthrough. Be happy to.
All right, let's do that.
All right. So let me share my screen here.
Sure.
As you had mentioned, one of the cooler parts about this, in my opinion, is that to start, it's absolutely free. You can go in here for absolute free, don't even have to enter a credit card, get yourself set up and organize literally everything about your business in a couple of minutes. So we're going to start there, and then I'm going to show you kind of the pro features that you can really use to level up all of that stuff. I'm going to start, we're going to go through a sample business. For now, we're just going to type in, hey, my name is Sample. Nice to meet you. We're going to create just a test email address for this, and we'll walk through it. Okay, so that's literally all you need to enter in: your name, your email address, your business name, and your password. We're going to go ahead and create a free account.
No credit
So
card, no nothing.
no
So
credit card.
nice.
So we're going to get right into here. It's going to welcome you. And this is going to kind of walk you through exactly what the tool does, but you have me to do that. Kind of skip right to the good part. This is our dashboard. This is where we're going to organize what our brand looks and feels like. On the left side, we have our progress bar showing us kind of how far along we've come. We have some options. On the right side, we have basically our live preview of what our brand looks and feels like. This is essentially helping you to create a brand guide that explains everything about your brand. This is zoomed in a little bit, so everything's kind of condensed on the left side, but usually you'll see a little bit more of the menu here. It is scrollable, so we'll get to that. But we're going to start again going through the super basics here. And again, this was meant to be as freaking simple as possible so you don't have to think. I know that a lot of people don't like putting in manual effort in the world of AI. So we're
Yeah.
going to help you do that as easy as possible. Okay, so do you have an example business?
Okay, it's ambagrill.com.
That's ambagrill.com.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So literally that's all we're typing in. Okay, so I'm going to type that in. I'm going to hit analyze website and continue. And my hands are over here. I'm not doing anything. we're going to watch this go ahead and pull some information. Okay.
So that's the special agent in the back end, crawling your
Yes.
website, crawling your everything that you need for it. Yep,
Correct.
that's
Okay,
nice.
so where it says brand name test, that's because that's what I entered in when I created my account. But it pulls a one-liner about your website, a short description, and a long description. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and understand everything about your website. Okay, so that's our brand basics. That's our very first foundational layer. Now we layer that up with one of my personal favorite modules in this entire thing, your audience. Okay, because for me, if you don't understand exactly who you are speaking to as a brand, it messes everything up. Okay, so the very first thing we do here, we go ahead and hit create your first avatar. And again, I'm not going to have to do much. I literally clicked 2 buttons. It's going to go out and now it understands a good bit about your brand from what we just did in that first step. Plus there's some behind the scenes information we collected. We're going to go ahead and understand, hey, who is your ideal avatar? We're going to give you some choices. Is it a health conscious millennial seeking authentic dining experiences? A busy parent organizing a family celebration with diverse cuisine? A culturally conscious empty nester exploring global cuisines? Right, so we understand, hey, who is it that is looking into being one of your customers? Again, this is based
Mm.
on some Google search data. This is based on data on your website. We can give you some options, which you as the business owner are going to say, hey, of all of these, this one feels the most like what I believe my own audience is. So which one do you think fits best for you?
Okay, is there more? You could generate
We
more?
could redo it if we like. So you'll see a confidence number in each one, which says, hey, how close we think we are to it. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to capture a variety of your audience, people who are looking at what your business offers. And
Mm.
again, this is based on what we've understood from your website and what Google understands about your website. This is an important thing to understand too. We want all this stuff to be aligned.
Can I have a suggestion here? Like,
Sure.
does it scroll the reviews as well? The business reviews?
It does not.
That's, I think, like sometimes the reviews of the business tell more about the business than the website. Like sometimes you don't see yourself that you're the healthiest, on the healthy, like, whatever that you're actually offering. And the reviews will tell you what the people like about your business. And that's
Yeah,
what I
which I
like
guess
sometimes.
presents a problem if you are not telling the story accurately, but other people
Then,
are,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Just for the sake of this example here, let's go with this first one for people seeking authentic dining experiences.
I like this one. No,
They want
no, it's
cuisine,
good.
right? So we're going to select that one. We're going to go down here and hit continue. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go out and research that persona more in depth. It's going to create everything about that persona from, hey, what might their name be? Where might they live? All this information about them. We want to understand, hey, where do they live? What is their marital status? What does their voice sound like? What kind of interests do they have? How much free time do they have? What does their typical day look like? What do they do on the weekend? What kind of media? What kind of social media? How much time on that social media, right? So we understand literally everything about what that persona
Mm.
does in their life. Okay. And this is all important information. And again, you can go in here and edit this if you happen to know better. But again, this is all research based to help give you a guideline to start with. Next thing we do is we understand, hey, what are their dreams and fears? In my opinion, when you understand an avatar's dreams and fears, you can speak to them better. They're going to hear things that they want and things that they want to go away from. And when you can touch on those pain points and those aspirational points, it connects your message at a much deeper level. Okay, so we understand, hey, these are people who are looking for maybe some meal prep, right? And I know that's the thing that you're starting to offer, right? Those packages. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're
definitely.
understanding a little bit about this person at a deeper level. So it gives you this whole list of, hey, what are their dreams? What are their fears? So now we're just going to review if we want to change anything up, confirm and save our avatar. So
Yep.
if we had a pro account, you can create as many of these as you want. On the free account, you can only create one.
Which is it will do the job. That's what you'll need to
100%. You
do.
can
Yeah.
get enough information here and it'll help you build out everything. Again, if you want to go super in depth, and we're going to play with that in a little bit. But for now, hey, you got one person in your audience. Now we do our core values. One of the things I believe is core values are meaningless if they're only on the wall, right? We want them to be actually lived out in every decision. I believe, hey, if you want to build a healthy business, your core values better be a part of that thing. So here what we do is I gave you a very simple 15-question quiz. This is not rocket science. You answer it kind of the best way you can. That's going to help to define exactly what the core values of your business are. Okay, because
Nice.
this is stuff that comes out in your marketing, right? When
Mm.
you speak to your audience, we want to make sure it represents who you are as a brand. So I'm just going to go through and speed run some questions here. Okay, so once you've answered this, is going to analyze all of your information, and report on your values. Integrity is your number one value. Okay, so this is going to help to kind of identify who you are as a brand. But now you're going to start to see it's going to show all of this information, right? And this is going to start to fill out what your brand looks and feels like. So
I can't stress enough how important, guys, this is. Everybody, some people do this like manually, and every time they work on a project and they have like only one paragraph. This is, Jim, this is like, it has a lot of information that's going to save you a lot of time.
100%. And I think one of the other cool parts about this too is it lets you see what it comes together and looks like in real time. And then also there's another feature we'll get into later where you can share this with somebody else, whether it's a freelancer, a marketing company, whoever else it is. They can see a real-time view of your brand and how to speak like your brand, what colors your brand uses. So you can make sure that everyone who represents your brand does so in uniform. Our next module is the North Star. Okay, so the North Star, I give an example here about the Southwest Airlines story. Their North Star was to be the low-fare airline, right? That was the thing that they wanted. Every decision was measured against that one statement. So they said, hey, if we're deciding what to do in our brand, does it match our North Star? Does this help us be the low-fare brand? If it does, cool, we want to do it. Right? And that's when they started kind of making those decisions to help them grow as a company because they had a very clear direction to go. So what this does for you as a brand owner, it helps you to figure out what yours is. Again, very simple process. I want this entire thing to be as simple as possible. I designed 8 questions, and it's going to put together the answers that you give here with all of the information that we already understand about your business and help you define what your North Star is. Speed run, I'm just going to kind of click through these for the sake of this demonstration. We're going to reveal our North Star. And if you want, right, because this is going to give you its analysis based on what we understand about your brand, you can edit this if you want. If you have a better understanding, maybe you already have one. You can go in here and edit this and make it your own. But from what we identified here, our North Star for this business is to deliver authentic Middle Eastern cuisine that prioritizes affordability without sacrificing quality. Is that's fair to say?
That's fair to say. Absolutely.
Okay. So we want that to be the goal in everything we do, right? And when we are making marketing, when we're making our ads, when we're making a business decision, we want to make sure, hey, everything we do puts us in line with that direction. And again, you'll see our brand guide is coming together in real time, and it's helping you understand, hey, how do we even use that in the business? We want to promote dishes that highlight authentic flavors while remaining budget friendly. We want to focus on sourcing high quality ingredients at lower cost to maintain affordability. And these are things that you can promote in your social media, in your whatever else you do, because they align with your North Star and they align with your audience. Okay, so you see how all these things are starting to come together to help it make super simple to understand how to understand your own brand and share that message with other people. Okay, so that is the foundational layer of your brand. The next layer is the visual identity. This is what it looks like. So again, we want to make this super duper simple. You can pick out the colors if you want, or you can go ahead and just hit this button. What it's going to go do is it's going to go look at your website and do its best to understand what colors and typography and components you use on the website to help just pull that in for you. Okay, so you hit import design from website. It's going to ahead and scan your website to pull in, hey, what are your colors? What does that look and feel like? What kind of typography do you use, right? What does that look and feel like? And pull that stuff in. So it's going to save all that information. It's going to kind of show it up here. You can see what this looks and feels like in real time. There are some things about this. Obviously, we're not completed with it yet. So you'll see, hey, maybe there's some issues. We want to change up some colors, maybe make it pop a little bit more in a different background. We'll get into that in a bit. Our next one, your logos. So again, this is a big thing that business owners struggle with. I honestly don't know why, but it just is a thing. People can't figure out where to put their logos. They have terrible resolution versions. We don't have favicons. We don't have SVG versions. Let's make it simple. Let's click a button. Let's go out and find that for you. So we're going to go ahead.
Don't tell me it's going to put the icons and the fav icons and all of them.
Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and scan your website and see what we can find. An important note here, if we don't find your main logo for some reason, we might want to check. So it's maybe not identifying exactly what our main logo is in the code, which is a thing that we may want to check if that's not clear for some reason. It thinks your main logo is the MasterCard logo. All right.
It
So that could be
works.
a bug on my side, to be fair, but we'll check. Okay.
Okay.
So if you don't have one, you'll see it's missing here, or we couldn't find it, but it gives you the option to upload your own. Okay. And
Nice.
it's going to help you kind of store that information. Again, this is going to help you if you want to share that with an advertising company or a marketing company. They can kind of come in here and just pull your information for you.
Quick note, guys. You guys, if you're still watching, all of this still free. All of this still free. Just for this one, I would recommend everybody to just to manage your logos, and you'll be able to send it to your designers and I mean, if you're not, this is something that you got to sign up today, guys. It's free.
So the next module, I'm actually going to skip one and then go back, is our brand
Yeah.
graphics. This one doesn't have any like funky automatic features. What this one is just to help you organize yourself. So if you have patterns, if you have accent marks, if you have textures, whatever you have, you can upload them here and store them here. Again, just to make it easier when you hand your brand over to a designer of some sort, literally everything is one spot. You don't have to fumble around for a Google Drive or forget where you stored something. Everything is maintained in the same exact area. Helps make that easier when you're working with your brand somewhere else. Now, this next thing is a mood board. And if you've ever made a mood board, you're basically going to go out and look for photos that represent your brand, because it just helps you to kind of better understand what your brand looks and feels like. This one is just going to kind of do it for you. So you're going to go ahead and create a mood profile. And that's going to do its best to analyze what your brand feels like and what words best describe your brand. And we're going to recommend photos that fit that. And then you can kind of go through Tinder style and like or dislike them and help to kind of assemble a visual guide for what your brand looks and feels like. This is going to recommend, hey, it believes you embody warmth and authenticity, reflecting a vibrant and inviting atmosphere rooted in Lebanese culture. Okay, so we're helping to kind of define what that looks like. And if you want, you can go ahead and edit this, but it's going to start to recommend photos that kind of fit that mood. Okay, so if you like this one, you can heart it. If you like it, you can heart it. If you maybe this one we don't like, we're going to X. Okay, we're going to start to kind of narrow down what it looks and feels like. And it's going to make some recommendations as you go through this. It's going to say, hey, we definitely don't like this. Let's start to hone in on what we believe this brand looks like. Okay, so we're going to start to really fine tune exactly what we feel the brand looks like. So it's going to save all those photos here for you. You can kind of manage those. Let's say you save this one by mistake, you want to delete it, you can. Also, if you want to just maybe manually search for something, you can do that too. Okay, so you can spend some time. The more time you spend really fine tuning this and not just letting AI do everything for you, obviously you're going to get a better result, right? But we wanted to make it as just push button as possible for people who are lazy or time efficient, if you want to call it that. So that is the summation of our visual section. Next, we go into voice and tone. Okay, so this is your writing style. This one, by far, one of my favorite modules in here, because when you identify what your voice sounds like as a brand, it's going to help you do so much more on a very consistent level, whether that's writing your ads, writing your social posts, writing your email campaigns, writing the content on your website, literally everything about it, super duper simple. It also has one of my favorite modules in here, again, because I wanted to make this as simple as possible for everybody. This is Talk with Ben. Okay, so Ben, who we didn't get into yet, is your brand engine. That's what Ben stands for. It is an AI trained on everything that I've done in branding, plus everything we've learned about your specific brand. In this module, which I don't know how well it's going to work while we are live streaming this, but we can give it a test. It's going to be a natural conversation. We're using voice AI in this to ask some questions about your brand, and you can just speak. When you are speaking, you tend to give much better answers than if you have to think and type. I think a lot of people struggle with typing to fill out a form. But when you're speaking, you can just speak off the cuff, and it tends to give you much more information anyway.
And
So
don't
that's
you
what
think
this
the
is.
LLMs as well built as a natural language, like the
Yes,
more natural language that you're talking to it, the better it is.
100%. I'm not going to fully do this one just because it takes about 10 minutes and I don't want to kill all your time. But basically what this does is going to open up a conversation.
Hey, I'm Ben. We're going to have a simple conversation about test. I'll ask you a couple questions, just answer them the best you can. Let's start. Tell me a bit about test and what you do.
Thanks. This is an amazing restaurant where we serve delicious food and people love to buy it.
Got it. Sounds tasty. So, who are your main customers?
Okay, so I'm going to cancel that for now. And obviously it didn't work because we didn't finish it.
I'm going to keep cutting you off and say, this is free, guys, till now.
Yes, all of this is
free.
totally free. And I still don't even have your credit card, so I can't charge you if I even wanted to.
Wow.
Please use this. It's meant to make your life easier. So again, that's meant to help you kind of pull all that information, and based on your answers and how you speak, it's going to really define, hey, what is the voice and tone for your company? Okay, so I also have another option. If you don't want to do that for some reason, you can just manually fill this out. And again, because I value your time, we're going to help you do it too. So it's going to say, hey, if you don't know how to write who you are or you want a starting point, go ahead and
So
click this button. It's going to give you a recommendation. And again, I recommend you to go through and actually fill this out yourself. If you literally just rely on pushing buttons the entire time, it's not going to give you as in-depth a result as just you doing it. But sometimes it's just honestly easier to start from something and edit it, right?
Sure.
So if you want to, click the button, it's going to head and start filling the stuff in for you. Okay, so I'm just going to type in some just stuff for now, just to kind of help us go through this quickly. And we're just going to make up some stuff because I'm just filling this out here. We're going to pull in everything we already know about your audience, right? Because we understand that part from what we did earlier. So then we have some questions about, hey, what's your tone, your perspective? Are you an expert guide or a fellow traveler? Are you looking to challenge and empower people, or do you want to nurture and support, educate and inform? Like, what does your typical content feel like? Some questions, super simple to help you kind of identify what that is. How you want to speak. Hey, do you want to have dramatic pauses? Do you want to be punchy? Do you want to be inflammatory? Do you want to ask rhetorical questions? Like, just really trying to understand how you speak as a company. If you have some writing samples, you could just drop them in here. Right now, I don't have an example, obviously. For time's sake, we're just going to hit generate an example. And then we're going to generate a framework. Okay, so that's going to go ahead and start putting together all of the information that we understand about it and generate that framework. So give it a couple seconds here, and this will come back to us with a definition. There we go. Okay, so this tells you, hey, this is your authority. These are your core voice characteristics, your tone, your perspective, your relationship, some super information about how we speak. We never compromise on health for convenience. All great meals start with fresh ingredients, right? It's going to give you very specific information about how you can speak in your brand voice to connect with your audience. So let's save that module and keep it moving. Again, all still free. Next is our do say / don't say section. That is going to help you to understand things that you should and should not say. So it's going to give you some examples of those. Again, this is really just to help you identify some things that your audience will like and not like. Our next module in that is our signature phrases. Let's say you have a tagline. You would want to identify what your tagline is here. And that's really just for use in later phases. If you don't have one, we'll help you make one. You can hit generate suggestions. Boom, there we'll go. Right. So let's say where every dish tells a story, we can use that. So we'll save that one and we'll go down to content pillars. This one, another one of my favorites. We're going to take everything we know about your voice, your audience, your brand, all that good stuff, and help you generate exactly what you should talk about and how much you should talk about it.
Can you repeat that, the last thing? So how many times you want to talk about it? Yeah.
100%. And you'll see here where it comes up in a second. Let me share this tab instead. You'll see in the content pillars, it's going to show you the recommended strategy. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So it's going to show you exactly how to understand this, right? So what weight, how much you want to talk about it compared to the other topics, and exactly kind of what you want her to do. Here's a quick summary for people who don't like to read. It's going to show you, hey, what is your recommended posting schedule? We want to talk about this topic, 3 posts per month. This topic, 2 posts per month, right? It's going to show you kind of the recommended weight to give each category. Then it's going to show you, hey, what is that category and exactly what you want to do, how many times you want to post about it, what different ideas you can have for that category. And again, just to make this make sense for those of you who are following along, I was having a weird issue on that site. So this is a different example. If you're wondering why financial freedom, it does not apply to a restaurant. We're using a different example account in this one instance. That is the answer to that question. But again, it's going to show you kind of a recommendation for, hey, these are the things that you can talk about with some ideas for each one in specific. Okay, so just to kind of help you define things that you should talk about as a brand. So let me go back to our previous one and we're going to keep going on this.
And I'm sorry, I just got a quick question. So when you got that details right there, how do you take it from there to write the content?
Well, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked. We're actually working on an entire module for this called the Content Hub, which should be out in about another week or so. And what the Content Hub does is it houses all the information that we create inside of the platform. And it also acts as a knowledge base for additional content we want to create. So it is continually learning based on what we've created to really fine tune and hone in on your voice, how we speak, what we talk about, and understand also what you've already said so we don't get repetitive. So there is a module coming again in a couple weeks for this, where you can literally click a button and it's going to generate a social post, an email, a blog post, whatever you want in that topic. And again, that already understands how you speak, what your audience needs, their fears, their dreams, and really kind of fine tune exactly what you need. So it's push button simple. The entire concept of this to me was, hey, if we can truly identify what your brand looks, feels, and sounds like, you could literally do anything with that information, because that's the foundation of how you operate as a brand. Right? So we can take that layer of data and use it to make push button simple stuff that helps you literally do anything you want with the push of a button. Once you have this stuff outlined, all this is literally free.
It's free. Free. Oh, okay.
FREE free. Yes. So we're going to jump into the next module here, and this is the polarization edges. These are things that, hey, what you're against and topics to avoid. This just helps you kind of understand your audience and things that are kind of hot button issues for them, because you don't want to piss people off generally. Some people make it a business to piss people off. What are things that you as a brand want to avoid?
Okay.
What are things that you want to lean into? Just helps kind of identify exactly what you want to do. And again, this might not feel like super sexy stuff right now on the surface, but when you get into those later modules, it's very important to understand, because you make sure that all of your content aligns with that. The next module here is the social media tab, and that is to help you identify exactly what your social media is going to look like. Okay, so it's going to help you organize, hey, what is your profile photo? What's your cover photo? What's your about information? What's your long description? Okay, and it's going to help to give you even a preview of what that all looks like in the real world. You've got options for all of the different platforms here, so you can go through and understand, hey, what each one is. Each one has the correct level of limits, so you can understand what that is in real time. And again, if you don't have information, you can hit that generate with BrandKit AI. It will write a description for you. Again, all of this stuff totally free. So it's an option for you to go ahead and manage what your stuff looks like all in one spot. That is how we set up our brand kit. Okay, so you'll notice here that we've finished our brand kit. We have a bunch of different things from our voice, right? Our sample, things we say, we don't say. This is meant to be able to hand over to anybody, where you can say, hey, if you want to represent my brand in an ad, if whatever you want to do, you can literally just use this and you'll always be on brand. Okay, so I want to show you real quick in the settings here, there is an option for visibility. Now, by default, it's set to private, but if you want, you can enable this to be a public link. You're going to get a link right from here that's going to have your brand name, which you can share this with, again, whoever, right? So let's say you hire someone to do some work with you. You can literally give them this link. They're going to get everything about your brand in one simple spot, and it will always be kept up to date with whatever you do on your side. That is,
everybody has to do it, like for their personal brand or for businesses, like their own. If you're an agency, definitely every
100%.
customer needs to be. There's a lot of value of this. If you do it for your customer and you just send them, hey, this is your brand that we use, and that's a very high valuable.
Yes. And if I didn't mention, this is free.
Everything that we saw till now, that's free account with no credit card, nothing, and
100%.
they could generate their brand and use the public link for it.
Correct. 100%.
Beautiful.
So I recommend that for literally everybody. Now let's get into the fun stuff. There are two things: the intelligence section, which is where we get into Ben more, and the playground. So let's start with intelligence. Inside of intelligence, this again is Ben, who is our brand engine, and that's trained on everything that I've done in business for the past 25 years plus, all of my own brands. Plus, again, it has access to literally everything we set up in the brand kit. So a couple of things are going to happen here. One is you'll be able to generate some insights. So we can scan your brand kit, and what that's going to do is going to look for suggestions based on what we know about your brand. So you'll give that a second. That'll pull up some recommendations for how to really outfit your brand in a better way. So you'll see here, because we have not updated a logo in this, it's going to say, hey, add your logo. Okay, so it's going to tell you, hey, this is really important. You need a logo for your brand, right? That one should be obvious, but some people may not know. We're going to say, hey, enhance your color contrast for accessibility. We're going to look for all the different things that as a brand, you need to represent yourself properly and help you get those done. So there are a couple ways to manage and interact with this data. Number one is, hey, if you did it, you can just go ahead and mark complete and that thing will go away. If you are confused for some reason and you need help, hey, I don't understand what the heck this means. How do I do it? Great question. Let's make it easy. One button push, tell me more. It's going to open up the chat and is going to literally give you all of the information you need in specific detail. Okay, so now you have a chat window active where you can really get in depth. And let's say you have some questions. Can you recommend specific colors? And it's going to recommend specific colors for you. So this is literally having a brand strategist on your team for you to help you do literally everything. And again, all of this is catered to your exact business and your audience. So this is not like having a general conversation with ChatGPT that says, hey, give me colors for my brand. This already knows everything that we've taught it about branding, plus everything about your specific business. So it's not general advice. This is very specific for your business. Okay, and this has access to visuals. So if you have uploaded brand graphics, your logo, your mood board, it's going to be able to visually see all of that information as well to make sure, hey, when we're recommending colors, they line up nicely with your logo. They line up nicely with your background pattern, right? Everything kind of lines up together and it's all uniform. So all that information exists right here inside this intelligence tab. Okay, so it's going to scan and understand your brand kit, help you kind of really fine tune it and make it better. Plus, someone to talk to if you have questions. Any questions on this part before I go forward?
No, this is great actually, because basically it's trained on real examples. It's not just an AI creating or suggesting stuff. So what Jim did here is basically putting all his experience that he has, which is, I bet it's very valuable. He
It's a lot.
mentioned, did you say 20 years?
25, believe it or not.
25.
I don't look that old, but
Unbelievable. This is great. So what I'm trying to say here, that's it's not just, you can't go to ChatGPT and create that. You can't go to any LLM and create that. They're basically giving his life experience on branding, business, intelligent brand kit, and all of that. So it's going to be very, like, you can go and build your agent by yourself, but probably it's going to take you a lot of time, and we're probably not going to have the right resources to be able to build it. This is very valuable. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to definitely use it for myself.
well, let's get to the playground because that I think is the most fun part.
Let's go.
So everyone likes playing on the playground.
Yeah.
Playground has 4 tools currently live in it. We're going to go through each one individually. I'll try and make it brief, but let's start with the reality check. So the reality check is meant to make sure what's happening in the real world is matching what you understand and what you want your business to look like. I'm just going to switch over real quick into my other account for this test, just because I want to be able to show you a little bit more information and have a bigger audience set up in there. If you remember in the brand kit part, when we set up our audience, you can only set up one. In this example that I have right here, I've gone ahead and set up 4 different people in my audience. Jump into the playground, the reality check tool. What this does in specific is it will go out to your website. You'll see here it has our website already preloaded into it. You can add an inner page if you want, or you can just let it scan the home page and it'll just pick 4 internal pages based off of that to better understand things. It's going to go ahead, run a check of your website to go look at how your website is set up. What is the language it uses? Does it speak to your audience properly? Because us as a business owner, sometimes we are too close to the canvas to be able to see truly what the outside world sees, right? We know our business. So sometimes we'll write things or say things and they make sense to us, but the rest of the world might not. Okay, so what this does is it goes out and looks at your website and it's going to pull everything and understand it as if it were your avatar. So we'll give this a second to complete. And when it does, it's going to come back and it's going to give us a thorough review of how our ideal customer views us, right? Because we might think we show up a certain way. We might think we are telling the world we sell widgets for good value. But if the world is viewing our website and they say, I don't even know what the heck you do, or I have questions about what you sell, right? That's a clear point where you're going to get people to bail. We'll let that cook for a second. And once it does, we'll jump into the results.
So right now it's actually crawling all the pages, getting all data, and then analyzing the data.
Yeah. So we jump in here and we see, hey, a very simple score, your alignment, 5 out of 10. Not great. So then it's going to tell you why the score. Good question. Glad you asked. And help you kind of understand a little bit about what you did well, what you didn't do so well. Okay. So then we'll go into the specifics. Hey, we're seeing a limited engagement with what the audience actually needs. The website does not sufficiently engage with the need for a supportive community. Okay, so if we've said in an earlier step, hey, these are the needs of our audience, are we conveying those to the audience? Does the audience understand exactly what it is that we provide? Is there alignment there? Okay, so it tells you, hey, what is the current state? What's a recommended action? Okay, so this solves the problem for you. Super simple. We want to keep this as easy as possible. Go through lots of different individual ones. I'm not going to go through each individual thing that it found here. I'm going to skip that part in a second. Then we're going to go into avatar insights. This is going to tell you from the perspective of your audience that you set up earlier, what is their first impression? What is their understanding of what it is that you do? What unanswered questions do they have? Okay, so this puts you in the mindset of a prospective customer who's looking at your brand and telling you, hey, this is what I think you do. Does that align with what you believe you do? Gives you the option to kind of have that conversation with your audience and say, make sure that that actually lines up. Because if your audience doesn't have the same perception of your brand, they ain't buying from you. Hey, what specific programs do you offer? How are they structured? Hey, if we're not answering these questions and people are asking them, they're going to leave the page. They're going somewhere else to find this information. Right? So we
Sure.
want to make sure that we provide answers to the questions people are asking. So
Mhm.
there's a ton of information you can go through here and read. I personally love this information. It is invaluable to a business owner to get this kind of access. I love buttons. We're going to push one button. We're going to get a plan. Okay. Because again, you remember, we understand how you write. We understand what your audience needs. We understand the questions that they have. Guess what we can do now with all that information? We can rewrite your entire homepage for you in the specific language that will meet your audience's needs and answer all their questions. Because we have all those things separately, we can push one button and get an action plan, which is going to give you literally copy and paste text, which you can go and copy and paste into your website. That's going to be in your tone of voice, address the questions your avatar had, and be totally aligned with your brand. Okay, so obviously when you copy and paste, you're going to want to format it to make it nice and pretty, blah, blah, blah. But literally the text is here for you. So you don't have to go ahead and think, hey, how do I make this work with my brand? Push a button, copy and paste the thing. This could not be any simpler for you to make sure that your brand is answering the questions that your audience has.
I love that. I like what you did, that it's based on branding and business 101 perspective, right? But this is, at the end of the day, that's what every SEO and marketer are doing. They're trying to edit the business, right? But they don't go and see, hey, what the people see the brand, and they don't do those insights.
Yes.
Like, you could do this exactly what Jim is showing us today, and hire somebody to go over and do it and pay thousands of dollars. But with this tool, I think, for less than a dinner price, you would be able to optimize your website. I know Jim didn't mention anything about SEO, but this all go back to, user intent and user how they're going to interact with your business, with your website, which is give it more value and a higher ranking as well.
To the next tool in the playground. This one I also love. This is called the problem to profit map. Obviously, as a business owner, and I hope as a business owner, you get paid to solve problems. So what this
Absolutely, that's
does
what we do.
is it uses all the information that we already know, and it helps you to identify problems you can solve for your audience. Okay, so we're going to, again, click one button. If you haven't noticed, this is a trend here. Very simple. I want you to push a button and then just live your life. I don't want you to spend a lot of time working on stuff that shouldn't be really simple. Again, when we have the information, we've got the tools, let's take advantage of them and make your life better. So what this does, again, is it goes and it looks at your audience. It looks at their dreams, their fears, their concerns. It looks at the things that you already do and understands your business, and helps you to identify, hey, what is a problem your audience has? How can you as a business owner solve it in a way that lines up with your core values, with your North Star? Make sure everything is aligned. It's going to recommend to you specific ways you go ahead and do that. So if you're looking to add a revenue channel to your business, you go over here, you press a button, and then you wait a minute. That's going to give you those recommendations for you. This process will take about a minute, maybe two, because it's going to do a deduplication.
Okay.
So you'll see it completed. We can kind of jump into that, and it's going to say, hey, 2 opportunities identified. Hey, recommendation number 1, a digital platform offering tools and resources, or a professional growth and wellness retreat. Okay, so these are things that people want that we do not yet offer, and it's going to give you some ideas. Okay,
So it did search the internet as well, basically, on what people looking for in
yes.
your industry, and then did that match. Okay.
Correct. That's going to go ahead and give you some ideas if you're looking to grow your business in some way, shape, or form. Let's take all the information that we have and see what fun things we could do with it. This one, I think, is super fun, right? So let's say you've nailed your current business streams. You want to add something else to your business to help it grow. Jump over here, see how we can solve some problems. Super fun one. Let's jump back to the other tool in the playground. This one I love. Have you ever done focus groups? So focus groups are essentially, if you're not familiar with it, where you get a bunch of people together in a room, you give them a scenario, and you say, hey, random strangers, I am thinking about doing this with my business, or this is a new product we have, or something about something you want feedback from them on. And what those people are going to do is they're going to give us some feedback. What we are doing in this scenario, and I'll talk as I set this up, is we are creating a virtual focus group, which you can simulate in real time using everything we know about your business and all your avatars. So let's say I'm thinking about offering a new service. So I'm thinking about offering a new service to make websites for $200 a month. That's the concept we're going to test. And now here we're going to say, I want to offer a new service that sells websites to new business owners for $200 a month on a 12-month contract with nothing up front. And we manage the website and offer basic maintenance. Okay, so I'm proposing a concept for my business here that says, hey, I'm thinking about offering a new service, $200 a month. We're going to build your website. You have a 12-month contract, nothing up front. We'll manage and host the website for basic maintenance, $200 a month. Okay, so that's a thing I'm thinking about offering in the business. I'm going to select who I want in my focus group. It works with a minimum of 4, but you can put as many as you want when you have the pro plan. If you have images, let's say you were thinking about offering whatever, you have a new logo, or you want to offer a product and you want to show them what it looks like, you can add those in here as well. So we're going to hit start focus group. And what's going to happen here is it's going to now simulate this virtual focus group. Now, again, if you've ever done one in real life, this takes weeks, if not months, and is very expensive to do. This is going to happen in a matter of maybe a minute, and you can do it from your pajamas in your house, and you can do it as many times as you want. We're going to hang out here for a second while I test that idea. And so as a business owner, let's say you're thinking about doing something new in your business. You want to, when you're doing meal kits, right? You want to think, hey, how can I do this? What price should I offer? Should I offer a bundle? Think about these different things you want to do. And what this really, the feedback you're going to get here is going to help you to kind of solve problems before you encounter them in real life.
I've seen the avatars. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
The avatars, basically, those are the avatars that you started, that you built before for the business. And what it does here, basically, in the focus group, it's actually interacting with all of these avatars to be able to give you the final decision or the final summary, the exclusive summary, right?
Yes. So it's as if we are virtually inviting those avatars into a room. We're proposing this and having a conversation with them. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but you're kind of allowing them to act as themselves and give you feedback from their perspective. So you'll see here, it gives you an executive summary, which tells you kind of the main summary, if you want, of what this focus group provided. So it says like, hey, several concerns were raised regarding the pricing, how it could be perceived, blah, blah, blah. And you can read this if you want. Then we go into the individual feedback, right? So Cassandra Hill over here, who's 36, she's a marketing manager. She liked the low upfront costs. It's appealing. This is what she dislikes. The price could be perceived as steep for some new businesses, especially those in very competitive markets. It may limit your customers, blah, blah, blah. These are her comments. Gives you a mixed reaction. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, kind of neutral. Evelyn Carter read her response. And again, you can go through all 4 of these and they're individual based on their specific persona. Okay, so you're going to get feedback as if you invited these 4 people into a room. And as a business owner, this is going to help you identify, all right, cool, I notice a trend here that all of these people hated this specific thing. Let me as a business owner solve that problem before I actually go and introduce this and get that feedback from a bunch of people, right? And I'm not going to go and spend a bunch of ad money, go put this thing out and have it flop. I can solve these problems in minutes from my pajamas before I actually put them into the market.
It's beyond brand kit, man. It's like having your own custom employee agents that work for you, and you put them, instead of waiting weeks, as you mentioned, to do this, is you could do it in your pajamas.
Yes. Well, like I said, man, once you figure out the basics of your brand identity and understand, hey, what are your core values? What's your North Star? What do you look and feel like? You can go do some really cool stuff with this information. And that's kind of what this playground is it's meant to help you play with that brand layer. This next module here, the follow-up discussion to that, you can go ahead and ask a follow-up question. Now, let's say you've read through all this information. This is now allowing you as a business owner to step into the room and say, hey guys, thank you for your feedback. I have a question. Could you clarify? Okay, and you can propose that question to everyone. And let's say, what about if we offered it? What if we had a $500 one-time setup fee? Okay, so I'm going to propose that question to everybody. Okay, and so in a second, we're going to get 4 specific answers to that question, right? So each one's going to answer individually. You also have the option in here as well to ask individual people, avatars, their feedback. Okay, so you're going to see now we've opened up a chat. We've got each person providing their specific feedback. Now, let's say you think maybe Lena has a question here and you want to ask her a specific question. You can go ahead and say, what about a $100 fee? And you'll get a continuation of that conversation just from her perspective. Okay, so now you can actually interact. And again, I know this sounds a little weird. You can have individual conversations with these avatars and get even deeper. How's that feel so far?
Man, this is when you mentioned you're gonna love the second part, which is this one. This is very, very, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as I have multiple brands, I always have ideas and want to solve problems. And sometimes the idea is to solve a problem. So you probably, and it's great. Yeah, I could go to Claude and have my own custom agents, but it's not gonna be as detailed, and the resources that I have here, that every time I need it just to go there and do it, this is a jackpot for me. Like, it will be very valuable to my business and my process. So
I appreciate that. So now there's one more tool in the playground, which is an avatar voice chat. So this one is an opportunity. Now you can get to speak to your avatars as well. There's a multitude of reasons why you might want to do this. Let's say you just want to have a conversation with a prospective customer. It's an option to do your own little bit of research and kind of talk to that, again, prospective customer from their perspective. And again, it's as if you were just in your business and you said, hey, can I ask you a question real quick, and had that conversation. But again, you could do this from your pajamas in your house. So you can start a conversation with Cassandra over here. And again, this is going to be a voice chat.
When we're done, I have a question about the avatar.
Sure. So let's say, hey, Cassandra, I have a question about doing a new promotion in my business. What do you think about offering a $50 per month website management service? Okay, so I'm going to end it there because we don't need to listen to that whole thing. But again, you'll see it's a conversation. It matches their profile. So you're going to get a female voice for a female, etc. And you'll be able to also go into and look at the history if you want. If you want to kind of go back and review those messages, you can do that too. You have the option to, again, have these conversations with people from their mindset, from their perspective, with their limiting beliefs, with their questions. It's not just having a general conversation with ChatGPT or Claude or whoever it is you want to have a conversation with. It's from their perspective. It's trained on their specific fears, their wants, their needs from that mindset, right? So you don't have to go ahead and create all of these agents on your own. You saw how long it took us to create that avatar, 3 button clicks in about a minute. You can go ahead and create 20, 25 different avatars, have your own whole little micro audience. You can go have these conversations. You can get feedback instantly. And obviously there's no replacing getting real world feedback from real world customers, right? But this is meant to help you speed up that process and get much closer to the end goal in minutes. That's the playground. And I am, as mentioned, including new features almost every day at this point. So it's been a lot of fun.
This is great. I just have a quick question before we end this about the avatar. Like how customizable that you can be on the avatar, because I actually like to, try to, I don't know what's the right word, but mirror whatever we have on the internet and with our real life. So let's say, as an example, Alex Hermoso, like you have his channel, right? Can I build an avatar based on scraping his information on YouTube to have him as a avatar?
So if I understand your question correctly, you want basically to attract Alex Hormozy as a customer. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, is the avatars like, because I looked at the avatars in one of the playground that you did. It's basically like people in your, other than customers, but people in your company that advisors, right? Maybe mentors or advisors, or
So
no?
that's a bit different, right? In this section, this is your audience. This is who you're serving.
Okay.
So if you want a advisor, a strategic advisor, let's say,
Yeah.
that's not something that I offer yet. I don't necessarily know that that would align with a brand kit. Maybe and I'm just spitballing here, maybe in the intelligence tab, we have different people you can tap into, right? So it's not just Ben. You can offer up another person who's maybe Aaron, if we don't want to use Alex's name personally. Maybe we have a different version of that has their specific skill sets, their books, their trainings. We can ask maybe other than a brand strategist, you want to ask a performance coach or whatever that term is. We can probably add different people into the intelligence tab.
I like that. Yeah, man, I'm so excited. This is so valuable. And thank you for putting this together in a way that any tool that I look at, and the first thing I look at is like how many clicks and how many information you need from me to be able to set it up. You made it in a way that you have two options. You could go and get all the details and spend the time on it, or you press that button and it will get you as close as possible, and you just minimum edits on it, and then you could, you'll go there. But that's one of the main success, I think, in any tool that anybody should create, which is minimum inputs from the user to be able to get the maximum output, which is that's what you did exactly. And I love it, man. It's I'm definitely gonna set up everything and set up all my businesses there, because this is very valuable, and appreciate that taking the time and showing us today. One last question: what's the next big thing that you're working on?
So I would say the next big thing that we're coming out with is the content hub. And again, the coolest part about that is to be able to create new content, right? So we know that we have our voice and tone, we know our avatar. So it's applying that same super simple push button theory to creating social media post, a blog post, an email automation, right? So let's say you want to launch a new product that we discovered in the playground. I have one button press that's going to create an entire email campaign for you. Subject lines, exactly what goes in the body, as well as the timing of that based on your audience and their hobbies. So we understand, hey, when are they most likely to pick that email up? So we can recommend that for you. So you click a button,
you get a fully laid out email campaign that says, hey, this is what you write. You go ahead and copy and paste it. It's going to tell you when to schedule them for, and then you just go do that. So all this stuff is meant to be push button simple. So that is a one I'm really excited about. And there's a few. I'm not sure how much I want to tease in this video just yet, but a lot of cool ideas.
We didn't talk about pricing.
Yes.
What's the special price that we have today for the audience?
Yes. So this is regularly, well, it's free, right? So the brand kit in and of itself is free. You can go ahead and create the brand kit, which you can use internally. You can download it as a PDF. You can share it. That is entirely free. There is no credit card required. You can just go do it. If you want access to the pro features, which is the intelligence where it understands your brand kit and makes recommendations for you, you can talk to the brand strategist. And then the playground, we can go ahead and do those kind of advanced features. That is $49 per month. However, I am doing a launch price for the next couple of weeks of $35 per month. And that is a locked in price. So if you sign up, you will remain at that price no matter what future changes happen. When it goes back up, let's say I change the price to $75 in a couple months, you're going to be locked in at that launch price. So that is the price for those of you who are interested in signing up. It is $35 per month. There is no contract. You can cancel at any time. It's meant to be something of value for you. And I think that that's an important part to mention there, that this is not my core business. This is not how I make money. This is something I want to be valuable for people. So, hey, if you have questions, you have a recommendation, you can have an idea how you can use it better, even personally, you tell me. I'm very accessible, and we'll make it work for you. So I do want to make that part clear. This is not a side hustle. This is something that is more of a passion project. I want to make sure we cover our expenses, and obviously we want to
It's obvious
proper with it. But yeah, that's where we're
it's obvious from the generosity that you put in the free. What can you get from free, and plus the price. What you get for $35 right now is just, I mean, and even with the 49, I would say this should be like, I don't know. I know the audience will be like, no, don't tell them that. But hey, this is worth more than at least $100. But $35, guys. Sign up today. Lock that price. And I'm signing up. How many accounts? Since like, let's say we have a lot of white label, not white label, a lot of agencies that have multiple customers. How many brand that you could add for each
so each
one
brand is tied to one email address. So you would have to essentially, as of today, have a one email address per brand. We are looking at putting together a agency level where you can essentially add more brands under one login. I don't have a timetable for that yet. I would assume probably within the next month to month and a half, we'd have that ready. But I am looking at doing that as well for people who have maybe a marketing agency and you want to create one for your client or just for your own businesses. You can kind of manage multiple brands inside of one login.
Okay, but you gotta start with your own agency and build that I'm building it for my agency right now first. So then, because that's gonna give me a lot of freedom and it saves me a lot of time, to be honest, and it will narrow, or what do you say, like make me focus on what really matters on the business and the branding, and saves a lot of time. So again, Jim, thank you so much for sharing this today with us. Appreciate the time, and as usual, I'm a big fan of your products and your work. Great work, man. I love it.
Thank you.
Do you have anything last thing that you want to say before?
No, I think we covered a lot. I would just encourage people again, like I said, hey, it's free to go do. If you have questions, I'm as accessible as possible. Please ask me. I want this to be a thing that saves you time and energy so you can go spend it doing what you want. For me personally, whether you've looked into my background at all or not, I know you personally have. I'm big on spending time where you want to spend time. So, hey, if you can automate as much of your business as possible, but not have it be generic, crappy sounding, you can put it in your own voice. So you can go ahead and just ask a question and get the answer. You can go spend time hanging out, go and spend time with your family, go do what you want to do rather than just be a prisoner of your own success. Nobody wants that.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, guys. And go check usebrandkit.com and sign up today for free. Thank you again, Jim. And we'll see you guys on the next one.